good afternoon. And my name is Ratul Lahiri. I am the founder of Purple Ribbon Healthcare Services Private Limited. We are a cancer care startup. Our mission is to basically create affordable and accessible chemotherapy take-in network across the country. So today I have Harsha with me. Harsha is basically a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. She's a leadership development coach and co-founder of Tinker Learning, which is essentially a creative learning and training organization. She's also a fitness coach by passion and founded the Win Breast Cancer India Hub for survivors, where she coaches breast cancer survivors with fitness and mindset, which can help them to recover fast. So I think
Yeah.
tremendous job that you're doing. But I think the objective here is to learn more from your journey, what you have gone through and how you have. The objective fairly of this conversation is to help other survivors pick up the positives that you have learned, that you've gone through, and if you want to give some any success mantra, that how to go through this journey gracefully, and the way you are smiling, and you have tackled this entire fight very bravely. The purpose of this entire discussion, we have been doing reels and covering stories, but as I said, as I was telling you, that we want to make it much more impactful, because listening it directly from you, I'm sure a lot of takeaways, much more deeper meaning that people can derive out of it. And that's essentially the purpose of having this one-on-one conversation with cancer survivor and people with a lot of zeal like you. So over to you, Harsha. So just want a quick intro, and then we can get into the discussion.
Thanks, Ratul, for the introduction and for setting the right context. My name is Harsha. I am 41 years of age. I'm married. I have 2 children, and I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. It's not been too long since I went through my cancer journey, as you can see from this hair, which is all over the place, because, this is the growing phase of this hair. But yeah, as a breast cancer survivor, I think there are a lot of things which life has given to me. In fact, as a leadership development coach, motivation, energy, trying to overcome obstacles. I used to think it came naturally to me, and I do think that I used many of these traits during my cancer journey. But yeah, overall, I think it's been a roller coaster. And in this roller coaster, one thing which I have learned, which I would like to start the conversation with, is that life is a mixed bag, and life to all of us, irrespective. I would hope and pray that no one goes through cancer, but irrespective of whatever we go through, life is a roller coaster. It is a mixed bag, and it never promised to be rosy. So the moment we get this one powerful thing about life, we understand and create this notion in my mind that while I'm going through life, there are going to be the pretty butterfly, beautiful kind of feathery moments. And then there are going to be some thorny moments as well. And it is about how do I tackle these thorny moments with gratitude and with grace. And I always remember the feathery moments I had in the past and which are going to come to me in the future. The moment we all realize this, we can take uh, any challenges. We can be ready, and we can brace ourselves for any challenges, including cancer.
Rightly said, there are, butterfly, feathery moments, and then there are thorny moments. But of course, you coming from, the background of leadership coaching and, the HR background. And of course, I think the last time I spoke to you, we could figure out that you are, you know, very maturely handled the entire journey of yours. But you mentioned that you have 2 kids. How old are they? And when you basically got to know about it, what was their age?
Yeah, they are 10 and 7, and they were 9 and 6 when, because I got diagnosed about 1.5 years back. So they are 9 and 6. They were 9 and 6 when I was diagnosed. And yes, it does come as a shock. In fact, I do remember this very distinct time when I sat my elder one down and I told her that I am going through some medical issues. In fact, I did use the word cancer because I did not want her to run away from it. I wanted her to face it. Though, she doesn't understand. We have this notion of cancer as something deadly, but she didn't understand that. She had maybe vaguely heard about this term in movies or something. But I told her that I have this disease, but I am going to get better. What I did want to prepare her for is the hair loss and the and my sickness related to chemo. So I sat her down and I said that I need her to be taking care of the younger one even more. So she has been acting very responsibly. In fact, the elder ones always do that. I'm also the eldest one in my family, so I know that the eldest ones always are the more responsible ones. बेटा तू ये खा ले, तू नहीं खाएगी तो वो कैसे खाएगा, तुम ऐसे करोगी, इतनी मस्ती करोगी तो वो कैसे करेंगे. So yeah, your younger siblings always learn from you. You are the role model, so you always have this, quote unquote, responsibility on your shoulders, which all automatically makes you even more elder. So, but I've been conscious of not making her feel that way generally. But yes, she really took it in her stride, and even on days when I had my most worst days of chemo, when I could not get up from the bed, she was the one who made sure that the younger one was doing her homework and doing the daily tasks and everything.
So great, Harsha. I think from the way you are basically the lesson that I'll take from it, maybe like the way you handled your kids, more from getting into that fear mode that ab kya hoga and what will happen to my mom, etc. You have given them the sense of pride that and taking responsibilities. You have shifted the entire, I think the needle to the other aspect of positivity, right? I mean, as you were saying that you made
Yeah,
them more responsible to take care of the younger one, or the workshop that you do. I mean, I'm sure she's learning that how to spread awareness, etc. So you're
right.
basically taken the needle to the other direction of positivity. So that I think is a great learning. Today, 70% of the cancer population comes from this tier 3, tier 4 locations, the smaller towns per se. And breast cancer is the largest type of cancer amongst all cancer types. Breast cancer is the largest type. Now, imagine women from the smaller towns, they don't even come forward for treatment because of this taboo. So, a lot of people, I mean, whatever number we know, are not even the actual number, because people from the smaller towns, they don't even declare that, or the moment they get to know that there is cancer, they just get inside their house, and it will be in a hush hush mode. They don't even come forward for treatment, because
Yeah,
the I think what is also missing is the awareness that early treatment may not lead to surgery or removal of breast. I mean, they may possibly retain it. So I think that that fear of the surgery, that there will be they have to go through mastectomy or the hair fall, those things I think from an Indian perspective are slightly sensitive, and as a result of which a lot of people don't even come forward for the treatment. So that's I think the unfortunate scary thing. But and as
yeah.
you are doing that awareness more and more, I think that a lot of these are myths and not the real fact. And once this comes into light, I'm sure it will benefit a lot of more females specifically, because they're working in the breast cancer field. I really hope that we can help to spread the word more, what you're trying to do. So
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Harsha, just
Awareness is the solution, and there is no amount of awareness which is less or more. We need to at all levels. Every one of us, each of us, need to spread more and more awareness and bust many of these myths related to cancer. And we all continue to do that with the hope that somewhere someone is watching and learning and overcoming their fears.
absolutely. But Harsha, just wanted to know separately that what is the toughest time and the most challenging time? Of course, I mean we have been talking, and you're sharing all the support that you've got from the family, your own positivity, including your house help, right? I mean the kind of support that you got from various set of people in your ecosystem. But I'm sure there will be, it's not that easy the way it is sounding. So, can you tell us about the challenges that you have faced through and how you overcome it? Or I'm not sure that of course, it's not that all the challenges one can overcome. There is sometimes you have to just lie low and accept it. But
Yeah.
just want to hear that side of it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, see, treatment, breast cancer treatment, or rather cancer treatment is not easy. It is tough. I want to say that. But as long as one is prepared and knows that it is temporary. I think what we need to keep reinforcing to ourselves and our brain is that this too shall pass. It is not permanent. Hair, yes, it will go, but it will come back. And I have also written some blogs in my cancer journey, and one of the blogs I wrote about the season of fall, and I compared it to cancer and losing hair. When the trees lose so many flowers and leaves during the season of fall, it is kind of the season of growth and development. The tree grows and it develops new foliage. And similarly, I treated my journey of hair loss as um, a journey of growth and development. And I compared it to the season of fall. So as the hair was shedding away, I was challenging my own assumptions and learning my own lessons and trying to use it as a phase, as a metaphor to growth and development. But one thing is there that as long as we understand that, yes, we will get the side effects, however, they are temporary in nature, it gives us a little bit more strength to tackle the side effects of chemo. Everyone goes through different side effects. There are some people to whom the side effects are so huge that they are hospitalized and they're not able to get up, to the point that sometimes their next chemo also becomes risky, whether they will be able to take it or not. Fortunately, in my case, because have been into fitness for so many years, almost 10 years now, my body was able to cope with the cancer treatment. Though I did get the side effects, I had nausea, I had vomiting, I had mouth sores. There was a point when nothing was tasting because I had lost my sense of taste. And also, I had numbness in my fingers and my legs. All of these were side effects which I faced, but still, I believe that my body coped slightly better, maybe because of the level of activity I was used to, and the kind of hormonal uh, uh, what to say exposures my body had undergone, because the endorphins and everything used to be so high in my body because of the fitness, the oxytocin and endorphins and all the happy hormones, that my body was able to still balance it out. I used to face almost 2 to 3 days of intense side effects after my chemo, and then it would phase off. So to answer your question, the toughest time I think was not my chemo, but my radiation, because in chemo, after 3 to 4 days, my body would slowly start to get back to normal, and I would get at least 4 to 5 days of normal living before I had my next chemo cycle. So I used to always wait for that week, less than a week, maybe 5 days, when I would be just okay. I could step out for a walk and, do things which I would love to do. So, but in radiation, the effects are slow and compounding. So the first 5 to 6 days of radiation, up to I think 10 days of radiation, I did not feel anything. And I was told that I will not feel so much in the first few days, but the effects are compounding. But later on, because I have to take 35 days of radiation, the whole point of going to the hospital every day, I think that started to catch up with my brain. And, I went through some extreme levels of depression during that time. The second wave of COVID also hit during that time. So a lot of uh, people in the hospital were talking about COVID, and not, they were obviously asking me to be more careful, even my friends and family, and I stopped meeting anyone, my friends and everything. So a lot of things came together, no social meetups, and then going to the hospital every day. And then in between of radiation treatment, I actually contracted COVID because of maybe the exposure in the hospital or whatever. And my treatment was delayed by another 10 days, because I took 10 days to recover from COVID. And instead of a 35-day treatment, it became a 45-day treatment. So this whole aspect of going to the hospital every day, and the slow and compounding effects of radiation, in which you are not allowed to wear any undergarments, you are not allowed to do anything, any physical activity which is going to sweat in your radiated area. So you are actually thrown out of your comfort zone entirely. So for a person like me who was actually thriving on my nature walks every day, I had stopped all workouts, but I was at least doing a walk every day. I was, I was holed at home, and no social interactions and going to the hospital every day. That was a depressing time for me. Towards the last 8 or 10 treatments, I remember crying going into the hospital every day, and my husband had to really pat me and always encourage me by saying, come on, last 8 or 9 treatments, do not give up right now, you can do it. And of course, there was this burning sensation in the chest area, the entire skin was being burned. So because the effects were compounding towards the last 15 sessions, it was really sometimes unbearable, because I was not allowed to apply any cream on that area. I was not allowed to put water in that area. So yeah, it's more like you were focusing so much on that aspect that you lose the overall greatness of life. Now when I think about it, I could have handled it better by saying that, hey, listen, I survived through cancer, and this is the last 10% of my treatment. 90% of my treatment is done. But at that time, I think I lost all motivation, and I really banked on my husband to give it to me every day, because he would drive me down and then he would coach me for 5 7 minutes before I would get up and actually get into that room, because I was always fearing the, okay, more burning is going to happen, and more side effects and everything. So yeah, it was a tough time for me.
Yeah, I think more than the the physical side of it, emotionally also, I'm sure it is a very very stressful period. I mean, when you're going through it, as you said that crying going to the hospital. Of course, I mean it must have like hit you really hard emotionally,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so the support
It
of
drains you
staff
actually, the
was.
entire process of doing it every day for so many days, 35 days. It's just mentally draining. And I think the mix of the COVID and the delay of the treatment and everything kind of adds up.
Because this is a very important aspect of a lot of cancer patients when I speak to them, that the first thing unke dimag mein kya tha, why me? Because I've been leading a very healthy life, as you're saying that you are eating good, you are doing exercise, you have been into fitness for long, and then why me is the first question which comes to anyone's mind who goes through this kind of a scenario. And so
Yeah.
how have you tackled that? I mean, and I am more interested to know primarily for the benefit of a lot of other survivors, or possibly in future. I don't know. Of course, we don't want that, but people who will be experiencing it in future, the first time when they discover that they have unfortunately this kind of disease, and they will have this question, why me? So how do you answer that?
Unfortunately, with see, with diabetes, one can pinpoint uh like
Food habit.
poor lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
Cholesterol, one can pinpoint poor lifestyle choices. But with cancer, it's very difficult to pinpoint which poor lifestyle choice led to cancer, because it is so complex a disease. And specifically for me, I did not tick mark on any of the risk factors. So none of my family chain has cancer. I don't have the BRCA gene. I got tested for that also, so that was also not there. I have a baby and I have breastfed my baby, so it's not that I have not done breastfeeding. So they've all the parameters which were the risk factors for breast cancer, I did not tick mark on any of them. So yes, that first few days, obviously the why me question keeps rotating around you, that why me. But the, as I said, knowledge dispels fear, and knowledge helps to put all our fears to um, you know a manageable point, if I might say. So I started reading a lot about breast cancer, and what happens, why it happens. And what I did understand was that, see, over a period of years, all of us expose ourselves to too many toxins, and these toxins are unknown, we don't know. The plastic glass in which I have been drinking water, or for example, using the microwave for with an inappropriate heating equipment, or going out and eating food in a specific disposable cookware. Could be anything. I mean, I'm just giving random examples, but like our body was so fresh and it had such high levels of pH when we were born. We are born with a pH of 9 or 10. And over periods of dumping our body with toxins, our body is like a river. It's fresh and flowing. And then we keep dumping it with so many toxins, and which phase of our life our body will stop being immune to all those toxins, and some form of cancer will form in around some organ of our body, we don't know. So it's such a complex mechanism. The only thing which is in our hand is to be as healthy as possible, to be as aware as possible, and continue to make healthy choices. Just because I made healthy choices and I still got cancer doesn't mean that I stopped making the healthy choices. I still need to continue to make those healthy choices to recover, to recuperate. My only urge and honest urge and request to everyone is that don't give up from here, because if you don't give up from here, the body will automatically find mechanisms to fight, because the mind is fighting. The body will also find the mechanism to fight. We hear so many stories of people recovering from almost their deathbeds. Even COVID, we heard these kind of stories, right? Because people did not give up from here.
Yeah,
So
I know cancer
I think
survivors who are. I'm sorry. I know certain survivors who are there for last 20 years. I mean, they're living with cancer. Coming regularly, doing their checkups. But like it's been 20 years that they have been detected for the first time, and they're doing good. I think you
yeah.
are absolutely right. It's all in the mind. If you want to really live, it's just in the mind.
And the day we accept that I have this disease now, and it is up to me to work in the right steps with the right doctors, the right mindset to correct this disease. So that is the acceptance stage. And when the acceptance comes, there is always this hope. Even through my darkest times in radiation, I kept reminding myself of the hope that this can't, this cannot be the end of me. I need to overcome this. And yes, while my skin is burning and multiple things are happening, all of this is temporary. This will not last. It will pass, and there will be a good time which will come in.
Awesome. Harsha, of course, in the previous pointer, you mentioned the support that you got from your husband, right? So, just wanted to understand how, I mean, I sometime I came across a few of the cancer survivors. They think or they ask that, he's already in pressure. The family is like, traumatized. How much can I share with him? I mean, will I add more to his trouble and tension and
Mm.
stress? So a lot of time people, kind of don't want to be vulnerable. I'll put it that way, that they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to, because I'm sure as a survivor yourself who's going through the journey, apart from whatever, the positivity, of course, you are in a very different spirited zone, but I'm sure a lot of others, they're emotionally very weak, they feel very challenged, they have a lot of negativities in their mind, but at the same time they have concern that if I share it with my family, they will get even more stress. So a lot of times they keep it within themselves, what they're
Yeah.
going through, emotionally, mentally, or physically even. And I also come across people who said that um, you know more from the financial aspect of it, because they know that most of the people we deal with are from the middle class background, lower middle class background. Economically they're not so strong, so they also feel that और कितना खींचेंगे, already इतना हो गया है, खर्चा हो गया है, and all those things. So sometimes people, I feel that's my thought is that they keep it to themselves with the fear of, I don't want to add to the burden of my family. I'm
Yeah.
already a, I don't want to add it. So something of that sort goes in their mind. So what is, like, I think that, how do we handle that? How do we make them, say that come open or come in the open and share, because that will, because on the other side of it, I think the family member would be even more in a better situation if the person is more vulnerable, more open, and I think life becomes easy for both, right? I mean, I just want to understand your take on this.
So I think one can assess whether they can share with family or with a friend or even with their doctor. But sharing is important. In fact, I would also say that in my case, I felt that a lot of people beyond my inner circle were not able to understand what I was going through. If I would share something, they would quickly jump to solution and say, "Oh, you have gained weight, you cannot fit into your clothes. Why don't you buy new clothes?" Hey, listen, I do understand that I can buy new clothes, but it's just that I want you to just stay with me for that moment when I'm talking about the fact that as a fitness coach, I have gained weight. And that factor is playing big in my mind that, I've
Mm.
gained weight and I don't know how will I lose it. In fact, I'm still grappling with almost 6 to 7 kgs of extra weight on my body, which I'm not used to because I always have seen a fitter version of myself for so many years. So I think, people, it's an art to just listen to people and not jump to a solutioning
Giving
mode.
solution.
Most
Yeah.
people just need a listening ear. They already know the solutions in their mind. So finding a person, whether it is from the family or outside the family, is important. A person who can just listen to you.
But I think the brave part of it is to accept that okay, you need to go to a psychotherapist, because unfortunately in India that's also a taboo. That going to a counselor is also considered to
Yeah.
be a taboo.
Are you mad that you need to go to a counselor?
Right. I think also I would like to tell here, of course, not to sell anything as a solution. That's not the motive here. But as Purple Ribbon, we have certain psycho counselors, psycho onco counselors, and they're extremely, because most of them are over the phone. They don't need to come and
Mm,
visit you physically, because counseling, of course, is more like talking, right? So, and
yeah.
it's extremely affordable. I mean, we do it like as low as 500 rupees a session. So
Okay.
I just want to, if you know anyone who need it, please spread that as well. Because as I said, that cancer is something which needs a multi-pronged approach to handle it. It's not only treatment. There, the talking, counseling, nutrition, everything is linked to the well-being of the person. So, Harsha, last thing I just want to know, and if you can just summarize from your entire journey of going through this, treatment journey, the way the family dealt with it. So, how to deal with this in a positive note?
Okay. So, I think the important element is to realize that, you know, if you don't know, then know more about the disease, whichever type of cancer you're going through, know more about it, read more about it through trusted sources, consult your doctor, trust your doctor, and ask your doctor to point you to resources where you can read a little more, because knowledge dispels fear. I always say that to everyone. We are always fearful about things which we are not knowledgeable about. And because we make assumptions about things, we end up having these concerns and these fears. So I think the more we become aware about the disease we are going through, the better equipped we will be mentally and emotionally and physically to deal with it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Harsha.
Yeah. Thank you.